sadly, I'm absolutely certain the conflict will continue.
That's Jeremy Bowen there speaking to my colleague Laura Koonsberg. Well, with me in the studio now is Saeed Shehata from BBC Arabic. And Saeed, let's talk a little bit about those scenes that I was looking at a few minutes ago of people coming back into Gaza, people desperately climbing onto aid trucks. We're seeing aid returning to Gaza. We're seeing people returning to their homes, or what's left of them. What's happening now?
Those scenes were seen before when was the ceasefire in January. People are very hungry, and famine was declared in Gaza City in August. So about 25%, according to the experts backed by UN, said they facing famine. So these scenes are expected because people are very hungry, starving, and even when you go back, there is no shelters for them. Most of the houses are destroyed. They search for the loved ones who are under the rubble. So it is very hard thing, and the UN and other organizations saying Israel should open all the crossings because it is not as what agreed in the ceasefire plan, which is according to the plan to be 600 per day. So it's not the number yet reached that according to UN and other organizations, but still is a good start because people can find food. But the security forces of Hamas, which were deployed yesterday, is to help keep the order because before some lootings happened, so to avoid all of that. So the Hamas, security forces deployed there in order to have a control,
yes,
and also to show they are still there.
Well, Hamas is deploying security forces, but what does that mean for the peace plan going forward? Because part of the plan is for Hamas to disarm, is for Hamas to seek governance of the area in Gaza to the Palestinian Authority at least, or some sort of new authority. Where does that leave the peace plan if Hamas are now mobilizing their security forces?
There are hurdles for the second stage to seize a light, because the first stage, I think, it will go smoothly because the hostages will be released in exchange of about 250 prisoners and 1,700 detainees taken in Gaza after the 7th of October Hamas attack in Israel. So the hurdles is who is going to govern Gaza, in addition to that, who's going to control the security of Gaza, more that the disarming Hamas. Because today the Israeli Minister of Defense, Israel Katz, said the next challenge is to destroy the tunnels. And I think they don't know where the tunnels, because the tunnels are everywhere, and no one, it's mysterious, the tunnels in Gaza. No one knows about everywhere in the tunnel there. In addition to that, Hamas said before, they are not going to hand over the weapons until a Palestinian state is established. And this is not clearly set in details in the Mr. Trump plan, the 20-point plan, because what is said, until the Palestinian Authority goes through a reform program, in addition to redevelop Gaza, so we can talk about the Palestinian right to self-determination and the statehood. This one, so Hamas is not going easily to do that because it's the second strongest weapon in their hands, because they have the hostages, now they are going to be released. So the only thing left to Hamas is their military and its militant and the weapons and the tunnels. So it's not easy to do that. In addition to that, they are against the stabilization force, which was mentioned in Mr. Trump plan, because they are against any foreigners to take over security of Gaza, and says the governance of Gaza should be left to the Palestinians themselves. And Hamas insisting to be part to shape the future of Gaza, which is not to be accepted by Israel or the United States. So these hurdles, I think we might, like the January deal, will repeat itself again, because the second stage of the January deal was the withdrawal of the Israeli army from Gaza. It didn't happen. So the deal was collapsed. So in this case, this deal might collapse in the second stage, because the second stage is very crucial. No, the pressure from Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and United States on Hamas, I think, will not be enough for Hamas to do that, because the need is for Hamas to get guarantees, especially from Mr. Trump and the United States, for Israel not to resume the hostilities after, if anything happened, as what happened in January. So, unfortunately, this will cast doubts on the success of the second stage.
OK, Saeed, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us in the studio. Let's speak now to Professor of International Law at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, former legal advisor to the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Robbie Sebel. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us on BBC News.
Thank you for having me.
You heard there what my BBC Arabic colleague was talking about, and what he says has been echoed by many today. The worry here moving forward is, when we move into the phase 2 of this plan, how do we get those guarantees that this plan is dependent on?
I think the issue is not so much guarantees, but Hamas.